Some matches are made in heaven, others in hell.
When they got together, they were like a stick of dynamite, the wick and the gunpowder, and boom.
Obsessed by sex, a housewife lures girls to their graves.
In the end, I was expecting to die.
A single mom trades her lonely life for a blood-soaked romance.
No matter how fat she was, no matter how bad she was, he loved her no matter what.
And a thrill-seeking couple get their kicks from murder.
When you look into the eyes of pure evil, you know that if you don't do something to stop it, it could come after you.
These deadly women seal their murders with a kiss. They are lethal lovers. A quiet street in Gloucester, England. Behind closed doors, something wicked is taking place.
The most gratuitous act of violence you can imagine. Unimaginable evil.
17-year-old Caroline Roberts is captive to a husband and wife who delight in torture.
This is one of the most truly sickening cases of sexual predators I've ever encountered.
Beaten and raped for 12 hours, Caroline thinks it's her time to die.
The night that they had me, it was at Rose's hand that I nearly died. She's the one that smothered me. Never be the same once you've been in there and gone through that.
Caroline is one of the only survivors of a shocking 20-year killing spree. 12 young women raped, tortured, mutilated. Most of them buried under a house of horrors. 25 Cromwell Street, the home of Rose and Fred West.
The sheer scale of their destruction, it is almost unimaginable. More than 20 years of sexual abuse and death. It takes your breath away.
When biographer Jeffrey Wansell traces the history of the Wests, he finds a lethal love that begins at first sight.
Rosemary had been picked up at a bus stop by Frederick West when she was 15 years old. And it was as if it was a magnetic force. One recognised in the other that one was a victim and the other was a manipulator, and vice versa. I think Rose manipulated Fred rather more than Fred later liked to admit.
Fred West has been obsessed with sex from an early age. But in Rose, he meets his equal.
Rosemary West was abused as a child by her father relentlessly from a very young age, certainly from 9 or so onwards. So she used her sexuality as a means of defense. But at the same time, she came to enjoy the manipulative power it gave her.
Sex will come to dominate the lives of the Wests. But the pleasures of an ordinary marriage are not enough for them.
Frederick West had no problem with sharing Rose. He did it for many years with many different people. The sexualization of Rosemary West was something that became addictive, an addictive aspect of her personality, which in turn was egged on, made even more incendiary by West, which just becomes a forest fire. You cannot stop.
The Wests need a new sexual thrill. They comb the countryside,
Who's that up ahead?
hunting for hitchhikers, and find Caroline Roberts.
Why don't you hop in? We'll give you a lift.
No, come on, jump in the back.
My instinct was not to get in the car, but my other part of me that was saying, don't be rude. You know, give them the benefit of the doubt.
All right, hop in.
Caroline's split-second decision will change her life forever.
12 hours of being sexually assaulted, beaten, and raped, finally. In the end, I was expecting to die.
Hearing someone outside, she sees her chance to escape.
I could feel myself go in, and I just thought, let me die. I was being smothered, and I just thought, let me die.
But something stops the Wests from killing. Caroline is allowed to leave.
I always thought that Caroline was incredibly lucky. I think the only way I would explain it to myself now is that it was the dry run, if you like. And the fact that they allowed her to escape was, in the end, I'm absolutely certain, just that final, can we push ourselves over the edge? And the fact that they got away with it, they knew, nothing can stop us now.
The Wests are convicted of indecent assault over the attack on Caroline Roberts. But they're only given a small fine and allowed to walk free. The next girls taken prisoner by the Wests will not be shown such mercy.
Every time another body was brought up, it just made the guilt I felt for surviving worse every time. I think they probably did a bit more each time, but they had to get rid of the girls because I told.
When you thought something could not get any worse, it did. When you thought the horrors that you were going to uncover were as far as they could be, then you were wrong.
Detective John Bennett was lead investigator on a case that will haunt England for generations.
This series of crimes shocked everyone that came into touch with it in any shape or form.
For years, Fred and Rose West have been getting away with murder.
Rose West was a wife, a mother, a landlord. She lived in the community. She talked to neighbors. And no one would want to suspect that a woman could be involved in the deeds that she was.
The secret other life of Rose and Fred is spent stalking the English countryside,
Nice short skirt.
looking for young female victims. By 1978, 8 of these women will be buried under the West's house.
Sadly, my own view is that probably the best thing that ever happened to these young victims was when they breathed their last breath.
Before they're killed, the captives of the Wests are sexually tortured for days, even weeks.
Frederick West was a genuinely evil man who had no conscience whatever. He simply saw adolescent young girls as prey, rather as a fox would see a hare, and took great delight in seizing them and then toying with them, rather as a cat would with a mouse.
Fred's sadistic desires are only eclipsed by his wife's.
Rosemary West would be involved in sexual activity day in, day out, non-stop, in every sort of depraved form that you can imagine. But Frederick West would like to think he was of that ilk, but he wasn't. Eventually, she became more insatiable than he was, and certainly more violent than he was.
The argument that Fred was the spark that set her off, otherwise she'd just have remained plain old Rosemary Letts, has never washed with me. I believe that in that communal garden, blousy woman lurks someone truly horrible.
Rose and Fred will even kill their own flesh and blood.
I told you the other day, it's only getting worse. I don't know what to do.
1987. Daughter Heather is caught telling some of her parents' secrets.
You have had your last warning.
I didn't tell anything. I can't trust you anymore. I promise I can't trust you anymore.
No one was safe around them, including their own children.
Just like the 11 women who have gone before her, Heather will be killed. In 1994, the West children are placed with social services after allegations of sexual abuse. A chilling family secret is revealed.
If you're good or if not so, you'll be under the patio.
The young children who'd been taken away started to tell the family joke about where's Heather to the people who were looking after. Where's Heather? And, oh, well, she's in the garden. She's either 2 down or 3 across, you know, under the pavings, which were all square pavings like a crossword.
When police dig at the West's house, they're sickened by what they find. Mutilated skeletons with missing bones.
Where were the kneecaps? Where were the finger bones? Where were the little bits of the toes? And I've always been certain that Fred extracted them while the victims were alive to make them immobile. You keep them in the cellar, you tie them up, but you also make sure they can't actually walk away.
The Wests are arrested. Within days, Fred admits to 9 murders.
I think it absolutely astonished, horrified Britain, and I think it does to this day.
Fred escapes trial by committing suicide. Accused of 10 murders, Rose pleads innocent.
At one stage during the evidence, she tried to show that she was tearful when they were questioning her about Heather. Those that were sitting at a distance may have thought there were tears there. I was sat within 3 to 4 feet from her and looking at her at the time from the side. And just as the past, there were no tears. She may have wanted to cry. The tears didn't exist.
Almost 25 years since she escaped the Wests, Caroline Roberts watches as Rose is sentenced to life in prison.
I don't think she should ever be set free again because she lured a lot of those young girls to their deaths. You know, and I think for some of them it was most probably a blessed ending for them from what they'd been through, if my experience was anything to go by.
Appalled by the crimes of 25 Cromwell Street, the community acts. The house is bulldozed and becomes a public walkway. But the horror at what occurred there will never be erased.
I've learned about how people tick. I've learned how to cope and forgive. But you don't forget. You mustn't forget.
A lonely night. An impulsive decision.
She wanted a man in her life. She wanted to love somebody. She wanted someone to love her.
But this search for love will lead down a dark road.
When two people come together, you don't know what's going to happen.
Lust. Voodoo. Murder. Martha Beck's lonely life will never be the same.
No matter how fat she was, no matter how bad she was. He loved her, no matter what.
Is everything okay? I see you're not drinking your wine.
Pensacola, Florida, 1947.
Just watching my weight a little bit.
Why? You're perfect.
Martha Beck is on a first date with a man she met through a Lonely Hearts Club, Ray Fernandez.
You're so beautiful.
Thanks. Most men don't like larger women.
He was a very smooth-talking man, very polished, quite gentlemanly, seemed to be quite a worldly fellow.
Cheers.
She fell for him very quickly. She wanted to have a relationship with him. She didn't know who he really was.
According to writer Scott Christensen, Ray Fernandez wasn't looking for love.
Ray was after the money. He was after the gold. That's what he desired.
Well, Raymond Fernandez is not a rich man.
Fernandez is a con man who preys on lonely hearts like Martha Beck.
She was a mark for him. She was prey. She was somebody to try to take advantage of. And when he saw that she didn't really have a lot of money, he wasn't as interested as he otherwise might have been.
But he doesn't count on the determination of this divorced mother of two. Martha wants so deeply to be loved by Ray Fernandez, she will sacrifice everything.
She is so committed to this romantic illusion of who he is and what their relationship can be that she agrees to abandon her children.
For Todd Robinson, director of a Hollywood film about Martha Beck, this is the first sign that she is becoming obsessed.
And one day she marches her two kids down to a Salvation Army, parks them on the steps, and never sees them again, which is almost a pathological commitment to this man whom she barely knows.
Martha, I think you should take a seat.
To Ray Fernandez, this unthinkable act is a touching sign of devotion.
Martha, there's something I gotta tell you.
Something interesting happens. He somehow embraces the notion that she really cares about him, that she is really supportive. And at some point, in a rather short duration of time, he decides to put his cards on the table.
I'm alive, and I'm a cheat. My feelings for you were genuine. You're the only one I love. Out of all those girls.
Ray tells Martha he makes a living by seducing single women and cheating them of their savings.
I could always use a partner in crime.
And she says, well, that's a good idea. I can be your sister, and we can just do it together.
It's a brilliant idea.
Really?
When Beck became aware that Fernandez was conning women out of their money, it didn't repel her. It bonded her to him. She liked the idea.
Oh,
of taking advantage of women. She didn't like women, she was angry at them. This afforded her an opportunity to get even with all the slender women that got the guys.
No.
Joining forces, the lethal lovers hone in on a lonely heart.
Yep, she's a beauty.
66-year-old Janet Fay obviously was much older, looks like an old lady, but obviously the degree of property she had, or the degree of money she had, was the lure. And he thought that they could do a rich picking here, which would last them quite a while.
You are looking beautiful.
Thank you.
While Ray courts his latest mark,
Are you trying to get me drunk?
I do believe I am.
Martha pretends to be his sister.
To us. A woman your age probably shouldn't drink so much. Do not concern yourself, my dear. I am in perfect control of my drinking and my eating.
But she is burning with jealousy.
We are. Cheers.
On a number of occasions, she was no longer able to conceal it.
Is the food to your liking?
Oh, it is fabulous.
Good. The meat's a bit.
And it led to explosive results.
It is a beautiful wine. A woman of your age shouldn't be drinking so much.
Long Island, New York, 1947. A pair of lethal lovers are at work on their latest victim.
They were a strange couple. Certainly these other women must have found it strange that as they were being courted by Ray, his sister was often on the scene.
But Martha Beck is not Ray's sister.
Anything for you?
She is his lover, and the only woman who knows the real Ray Fernandez.
For you alone, I can be myself.
When he was a young man, when he was on a ship once, a hatch of the ship closed on the top of his head, and the accident was so severe that he lost a lot of his beautiful, dark, thick hair. And that had a profound effect on him.
There was this self-loathing part of him, this man that felt ugly and destroyed.
Ray's revelation only makes Martha desire him more.
Martha loved Ray. She did not want to share Ray with anyone.
Martha Beck's powerful desire puts her on a collision course.
What on earth are you doing? Ray is trying to say, for God's sake. I am about to write to my stepdaughter.
With Ray's latest lonely heart, Janet Fay.
I'm going to make sure that you will not be living with us.
She could no longer contain herself.
What have you done?
She was bleeding profusely. It was a head wound, but she wasn't dead.
That wasn't part of the plan. I'll take care of her.
Now the con man will become a killer.
So Ray ultimately strangled her to death. And in the process, even her dentures popped out.
The lethal lovers dispose of Janet's body and write a letter to her daughter to make it appear that Janet is still alive. High on the thrill of killing, Ray shares a new secret with Martha. Voodoo.
Fernandez was sort of seduced by the dark side, almost the Hollywood side of voodoo. And over time, he began to think that he could actually seduce women, make love to women, as he characterized it, from great distances.
Ray believes voodoo helps him select vulnerable women who will be easily charmed. Women like single mother Delphine Downing, Ray and Martha's next victim.
Delphine believed that she finally had found a husband, she had found a father for her young child, her life's problems were solved, she would live happily ever after. She didn't know what she was in for. She didn't know what her child was in for.
Oh my God, you're bald!
There's no need to act like that, Delphi, just because I'm going bald. Lots of men go bald.
She came upon Ray without his toupee, and this absolutely stunned her. She could see that this man was a fraud, that she was being duped, and she became furious, and she tried to throw him out of the house.
You're an imposter, and I want you and your sister out of my house immediately.
Delphine's reaction strikes at the core of Ray's insecurity.
This is my house. I'll speak to you.
Ray
Out of my way.
discovered a gun that was in the house. He put it to her head, and he pulled the trigger.
Move out of my way.
But now, they have a dilemma.
They had removed Delphine, but they still had Raynell, the child, to deal with. The motherless child.
I'll take care of the baby. You bury her in the basement.
And it was at that point that Martha took the child to the basement and drowned her in a tub.
Martha became so evil through her relationship with Fernandez, she actually killed the little toddler child of one of her victims, completely heartless.
Martha and Ray's love spawned a callous killing spree. But the police are closing in, alerted by a suspicious letter to Janet Fay's daughter.
Ray and Martha actually continued writing letters back to create the illusion that she was alive, but they made a mistake. They were typing these on a typewriter, and Mrs. Fay didn't know how to type.
When the police came in, the first thing was not after Delphine. They came in to say, have you heard of Janet Fay? And it was only then that they said, we're going to search this place. And they went down in the cellar when they went through the building, and they saw wet cement. So they knew that something had been buried there.
Beneath the cement, the bodies of Delphine Downing and her daughter, Raynell. Janet Fay's body is found in another house on Long Island.
After a salacious trial that lasted 44 days, Fernandez and Beck were ultimately convicted of capital murder in the first degree.
Even under the weight of a death sentence, their love lives on.
They continued to have a very tumultuous relationship even after their conviction in the death house, sending letters back and forth, expressing jealousy and being angry at one another and then making up, and in the end, ultimately expressing love for one another.
Martha Beck's desire for Ray Fernandez had taken away her children, her compassion, and her liberty. Now, in the infamous Sing Sing death house, it would finally take her life.
Martha's execution was one of the most horrific in the history of the death house. It took 4 applications of electricity to finally kill her. She struggled a great deal before she ultimately was pronounced dead.
Navy SEAL who lives for violence. A college basketball star with obsessive drives. Two lethal lovers pushing each other to kill.
A lot of officers were damaged by this case.
How How do you wrap your mind around something that's so evil?
This wasn't simply a murder, one-time thing. They were on a killing spree. Erica and BJ were natural-born killers.
BJ and Erica Sifrit are the deadliest couple author M. William Phelps has ever encountered.
BJ and Erica were the types of people who did things to get a rush out of them.
A volatile bond forms the moment they meet.
You reckon you can handle more?
I can handle him.
Both like to take things to extremes. A relationship begins where all that matters is the thrill.
The normal life of a white picket fence and a dog and a boat and maybe a couple of kids wasn't going to cut it for them. It wasn't enough for them. They needed more.
Erica has always had a problem with knowing when to stop. Whatever she does to excess.
One of Erica's passions as she grew up was basketball. She practiced, obsessively practiced.
Yes.
Erica has an obsessive nature. It is within her to repeat thoughts and behaviors over and over and over, even if they're self-destructive.
You got your ass up, baby? Here I come. Happy birthday.
Now she's obsessed with a very dangerous man.
Some of BJ's passions were Hitler, snakes, guns, violence, Marxism, anything really that had to do with negative things about life, BJ really grasped onto.
Hey, you like it?
Thank you so much.
BJ also harbors a powerful desire to murder.
Okay, so you got the cat.
His new wife, Erica, will bring his violent dreams to life.
Erica and BJ alone probably wouldn't have got into much trouble if they never met. But when they got together, they were like a stick of dynamite, the wick and the gunpowder, and boom.
It's a combination set to explode in violence on Memorial Day weekend, 2004, in Ocean City, Maryland.
Memorial Day weekend is one of the biggest weekends for couples. A lot of couples like to come down and enjoy and relax. The sun is out.
Oh, we reached Atlantis on a checkup.
Detective Brett Case believes that when the Sifrits came to Ocean City, it wasn't to unwind.
I think that murder was in their mind. I think it had been in their mind for some time. And I think the opportunity arose that first night.
After midnight, Erica and BJ set a trap for a couple they've just met. Martha Crutchley and Joshua Ford accept an invitation back to the Sifrits' apartment. It's the moment Erica and BJ have been waiting for. Tonight, they'll get their chance to be thrill killers.
The most common trait possessed by thrill killers is that they are sociopaths or psychopaths. They don't feel guilt about what they do.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
I gotta say the other thing with him, I think he had some good ideas, you know?
Come on, man. I think you're just messing with us. You don't really believe what you're saying.
This late-night party is about to take a terrifying turn.
Where's my bag?
Maybe you left it at the bar.
Let me see your bag.
And then all of a sudden, Erica freaks out. Who took my stuff?
Give me
Erica starts to create fear by pretending her purse is missing. Her husband ups the ante.
BJ gets a gun, and he starts waving it around.
Where did you put my bag? Give it
Wait a
to
minute,
me.
you ain't going anywhere. Get against the wall. Get against the wall now. Do it! Move your ass against the wall now!
I want him to shoot you.
Do what they say. Just do what they say. Okay, we're here.
And he says to Martha and Joshua, take off your clothes.
Strip down.
All right.
Ooh, little lady's scared.
What do you
Get
want?
your shirt off. Boogie,
Hurry
take
up.
it off. Do
You are
want to get
taking
shot?
too long. Just get your ass in the bathroom now. Both of you, get in there. Move it.
So now Martha and Joshua are inside the bathroom, scared for their lives.
Open up, pig.
Chicken, are you?
Right. Open the window. Open the window. Just leave us alone.
Yeah, I would think terror would be,
We didn't take her back.
that word probably wouldn't describe it. It would be pale in comparison to what they felt.
Erica and BJ are beginning to feel the thrill they crave. But simply scaring someone isn't enough.
And I think at some point there was a discussion, what do we do now? Well, we've gone this far, so let's continue and go all the way. And that decision comes from her.
All right, I'll do it. Surprise!
On Memorial Day weekend, Ocean City, Maryland is a vacation playground. But high above the streets, one holiday apartment has become a death trap.
The more you investigate, the more you learn that what you're dealing with is not just your normal killer, it's you're dealing with a monster. Pure evil. And when you look into the eyes of pure evil, you know that if you don't do something to stop it, it could come after you.
Get your ass in the bathroom now. Both of you.
Erica and BJ Sifrit are a young couple, desperate for the thrill of murder. Martha Crutchley and Joshua Ford are trapped in the Sifrits' bathroom. Erica wants them killed. BJ is happy to oblige.
So BJ kicks the door open, walks in, and shoots Joshua. And Martha is curled up underneath the vanity at this point, scared for her life. She's just seen her lover, the man she has been living with, the man whom she hopes to marry, killed right in front of her.
For Martha, it had to have been tenfold because she had to have witnessed Joshua be killed first and know what was coming. I don't think you can put into words what that fear would be like.
Martha pleads for mercy. But these lethal lovers don't know when to stop. It's Erica's turn to go on the attack with a knife.
BJ encouraged Erica to cut Martha because he wanted Erica to have blood on her hands, literally and figuratively. This meant that she was equally responsible in the murder.
For a couple who lived for the thrill, murder became the ultimate rush.
I suppose some other couples might go parachuting or water skiing or mountain climbing, and these two, they chose to kill.
But killing is not enough.
BJ has already made a decision that in order to get the bodies out of the condo unit, they need to be dismembered. But that's not why he does this. He does this because part of him, I believe, he enjoyed it.
BJ had a wild, violent streak that was fed and nurtured and cared for by Erica. I think he wanted to show off to her. He wanted to show Erica how tough he was.
Erica watches as BJ carves the bodies into 12 pieces. But even she is shocked by what he does next.
At one point, BJ, according to Erica, chops a leg off, cracks the leg in half, and he says to Erica, "Go heat up some water downstairs. I want to eat this."
Next morning, Ocean City is bathed in sunshine. The holiday weekend continues. But not for Joshua Ford and Martha Crutchley.
When she didn't arrive to work on Tuesday morning, her coworkers were concerned. And so by Wednesday, we had notification that Josh and Martha were missing.
By this time, their body parts have been dropped in supermarket dumpsters. And the Sifrits are acting like nothing has happened.
They go miniature golfing, they go out for beers, they eat chicken wings, and she documents everything with photographs. They're laughing, smiling, they're having a grand old time after this gruesome, gruesome crime.
Erica gets a lasting reminder of the murders, a new tattoo.
BJ makes a suggestion. You should get it on your hip. Why? Because that's where Erica made the first cut on Martha Crutchley, a memento of the crime.
On the final night of their holiday, the Sifrits take their search for thrills one step too far.
Killing 2 people and dismembering them, not enough for them. They need more of a thrill that week. They decide, let's rob the Hooters before we leave town.
So they back up to the Hooters and they, unlock the door and go in, and a silent alarm is tripped.
Police respond to what they believe is a routine burglary call. It turns out to be much more.
When you have burglars, you can have weapons. You just don't know what you have. And this is a prime example of how things can snowball.
The Sifrits are caught with 3 guns, a knife smeared with human flesh, and the IDs of the missing couple. Officer Freddie Howard was on the scene that night. He knows he had a close call.
I still get a sick feeling in my stomach when I think about what could have happened because of all the firepower that was here on the scene that night and what they had just done just days earlier, When I got home, I hugged my son and daughter, and just because I was so grateful to be there with them. Because I know it could have turned the other way, or I could have been murdered just so they can get away.
Body parts of Joshua and Martha are eventually found at a Delaware landfill. Tried separately for the murders, the Sifrits are both found guilty. BJ is sentenced to 30 years in prison. Erica gets life.
I can see in a lot of crimes, why I don't agree with it, but I can see why someone would commit the crime. In this case, there is no reason other than for their own personal thrill, and the fact that there is absolutely no remorse solidifies my belief that it was just for thrill.
For these deadly women, love became a catalyst for killing. Rose West's depraved union claimed 12 women's lives. Martha Beck lashed out at lonely hearts like herself. And Erica Sifrit's search for a thrill became a homicidal spree. When love entered their lives, others paid with their own. Murder played matchmaker for these lethal lovers.